Okay, Raptors first-round pick Gradey Dick is speaking with Toronto reporters at the OVO Athletic Center this morning. We'll listen in live.
You must have had coaches. Everybody wants to tinker with everything. Yeah, no, the main thing is just kind of keeping it consistent, and then, going in every day and just maintaining that same kind of mechanics and knowing what works for you personally, and I just found what worked for me. So.
In your mind, who's the best shooter in NBA history?
Probably Larry Bird and Steph.
Said how you guys were having a conversation about your draft day suit and that there actually was another option. What was that other option? How did you even get to talk about that?
What was the other option? Oh, I think I was telling him I might could have gone a little crazier because I think that the pants matched with the top, but they didn't come in fitting me, so it kind of saved me a little because kind of toned it down, but still kept it pretty loud. So.
Where do you account for that side of your personality? I think Bill Self was saying that nothing you did last night surprised him at all. Where does that come from? A lot of guys try and kind of play it down or play low key, embrace a little bit of the spotlight. So how does that happen?
I think just my family and just taking the importance of just being yourself in everything that you do, and I'm not trying to put a facade on for anything. And my three other siblings, we're all close knit, so we have a lot of fun together. And just I feel like my mentality with it all is, if you're having more fun with it, then you're gonna do better at whatever you're doing. So when I'm having fun, on the court, making the crowd happy, stuff like that, and just getting my team going, and that's when I have the most fun competing against other teams.
To Mike's point, a lot of professional athletes are pretty reserved. Is there somebody that you grew up and looked up to, maybe not for their game, but for their personality, and just somebody that kind of showed you that it's okay to compete at the highest level while also being yourself?
Yeah, I wouldn't say not an exact person. I mean, a lot of time when I watch players, it was mainly just kind of picking up different moves that they had. And then just knowing, you kind of see those guys. I looked up to my two older brothers, so when I'd see kind of going to their AU stuff or his high school stuff and kind of away from the court, see kind of them being stone-faced and just kind of, I guess, not really put on a fake personality, but just kind of acting too cool for the spotlight. I didn't, like it too much, because I like kind of incorporating other people and bringing them in and just, making a fun atmosphere for everyone. So, like I said earlier, that's just where I have the most fun doing.
How do you, last year was essentially a rookie year for you at Kansas, another rookie year for you in the NBA. How do you sort of combine standing out and fitting in? Like what, maybe you just don't overthink it, but what's your mindset in terms of joining an NBA team and, where there will be veterans and being yourself, but also, being a rookie?
Yeah, just really doing everything in my power to be prepared. And, that confidence comes from that preparation and just doing what's, worked for me so far, just being consistent in the gym and, knowing my game personally and what works for me and knowing what I can bring to a team and just trying to come here as a rookie and be a sponge and soak up all the learning that I can from Coach Darko and just the staff and everything like that. And I'm building off my teammates because I'll be one of the younger dudes on the team. So it's one of those things where I can come in and learn a ton quick.
Another guy who's super fun-loving is Scotty. It seems from the outside like your games will really mesh quite well.
Yeah.
Is there anything specific, like handoffs or pin downs or anything that you're really excited to get on the court, sort of experience with him in particular?
I think the thing that's going to be most fun, playing with a player like him on the court is definitely just his overall game. As we're talking about, just, he can do so many different things on the court with his size and length and, kind of combining my shooting and kind of me moving around the floor like that could be a definitely deadly duo type thing. But just going out there and, just playing our games and, seeing that's, I think, one of the things we'll learn pretty quick going into when we're all together here, working out, competing against each other is we're going to find what kind of works for us and how we can kind of utilize that in the games.
We saw you chatted with Scotty a bit. Have any of your other new teammates reached out to get a chance to get to know anybody else?
A little bit. I think majority, definitely just more Scotty from a personal standpoint of he was at Mount Verde. I never got to play against him, but I was at Sunrise, so we kind of, our schools compete against each other. That's kind of when I first got to know him. But yeah, that's definitely just on a personal note of FaceTime him after and kind of seeing his excitement, my excitement, and just building off that.
Has anything happened since draft night that's caught you off guard?
As in, what?
Just the way your life's evolved, changed, saw the ball game yesterday in the city. Has anything caught you? Oh,
I think, in the most positive note, just how beautiful the city is and just the people around here. I mean, definitely me and my parents have noticed, like just walking around the street and how genuine, people are around here. And I've talked about a lot, kind of going into this team stuff, and even before the draft, I wanted to be on, be in an organization where, I can find that good fit in it, but also be on a winning culture with, a fan base that's not like anybody else. And I think I hit the jackpot, being able to select coming here. And I see that, as I was talking about earlier with my parents, I don't know why you left, walking down the street, and it's just, families coming up. The first thing they say is just welcome to Toronto, and we're glad to have you. And I think that's what we take to heart the most, rather than just a quick hi and bye or stuff like that.
Gradey, is there anything about the organization or members of your organization that really stood out to you when you got to work out here?
Definitely Coach Darko, coming in, meeting Coach for the first time, and just seeing his personality and how it suits me really well as a player, because I was talking about a little earlier about being a sponge. That's what, I had to do going into Kansas, me being a new guy there and learning from a Hall of Fame coach like that. And then you put a coach like Coach Darko with, one of the most intelligent minds out there. So it's one of those things where it's a win-win. I can come in here, putting that work with him, and it's really rare, I feel like, to have a head coach putting you through a personal workout. So not a lot of teams have that. So I think that's definitely just a huge advantage and something to kind of help me propel into hitting the ground running.
We're just getting to know Darko as well. What stood out? I mean, the one-on-one or the one-on-one workout, him putting you through it, obviously, but like what specifically stood out about what he was doing with you?
I think the thing that stood out the most is definitely just the knowledge. I can't even repeat some of the things he said, but I know what he's getting at about just different movements around the court that I hadn't really thought about, ever. So it's the things that I came in with the interview process of what I wanted to work on, the pace to my game, just being consistent, getting my shots up on a daily basis, but really just those where I need to get better at, and then him kind of, picking, little things out and kind of putting that in different, drills, different stuff, just, stuff to I've never done before that has definitely helped my game.
Hey, Gradey, so, if you're going to reject the screen in the pick and roll, it's like a hang dribble, then a crossover. You got a lot of back cuts coming off of those little dribble handoffs. What are you looking for from defenders, and kind of what's your move to use that ultimate moment?
Yeah, definitely, like you said, just the reading the defender, knowing where his placement's at. If he's, like in college, a lot of times if, they're trailing me, I know that I can come off that screen. But then a lot of times they would just kind of cheat it and not let me shoot the three where I can kind of do that back door. And that's actually what we worked on a lot today with Coach and Marquise and them. And it was just, using the defender, kind of for yourself to know where you can go, little stuff like that where, like I said, I hadn't really thought about, in college and different things that I can definitely use in my game.
And then was there, at the NBA level, maybe the dribble handoff, being the guy coming off, there's a little bit more physicality.
Yeah.
Are there any tips or tricks that, like, maybe Darko was giving you as, like, swim moves to get around, anything like that?
Yeah, of course. Just getting your work done early. If you're, trying to, bounce off the defender as you're coming off, then that's when he's going to, kind of power you off. So I feel like, when you're getting going, you see the screen coming. I think the biggest thing he was teaching was you have your hands off you. You do one little, like you said, swim move, or just get the hands off you. Makes you think that the ref, can't call a foul, and he's going to play off you in the future in the game. So.
Coach Self had said that he thought you might be a two-and-done kind of player, and then that Duke game, and the end of that Duke game, he realized that wasn't going to be the case.
Yeah.
When do you think you realized that you were going to be an NBA player, a lottery pick, kind of a first-round pick kind of guy? Was there a moment for you?
Yeah, so I had the mentality and kind of self-talk that I always get to this point. But I mean, I'd be lying if I said I would know for sure I'd be, in this spot right here. So, it's a blessing. I'm grateful for it. But I think probably around my end of junior year, going into senior year, where I said, I need to write down, these goals with my dad, and the last one being a one and done. And then before that, just kind of goals at KU and going through the season, not focusing at all ahead of our games and practices and stuff like that, but getting to that point, realizing that, if I could be consistent with, how I work and what I can bring to a team, I could do it. So.
Did something happen in high school that's sort of prompted that mentality switch?
I wouldn't say there wasn't like a significant moment. It was really just kind of overall the season, just how I felt competing against other teams and how we were playing as a team, honestly. And the amazing platform Sunrise put me and my teammates on was definitely a kind of an underrated thing where I could showcase my skills for the nation. So.
Hey, Gradey, I know it's sometimes hard to talk about yourself,
Yeah.
but maybe it's a question better for Bobby on the side. But what do you think stood out about your workout, your interview? Because it's everything both on and off the court. Obviously, for organizations going to put this trust in you. What do you think really stood out from your conversations, from your time, that ultimately led them to say, "That's our guy"?
I think the biggest thing that I tried to I tried to get across to them and let them know that the main priority on the court, and if I ended up in the city of Toronto, then it was really just coming into it, being the most selfless dude I can be, and I try to really explain to them that I'm coming into it. Obviously, being a rookie, I'm going to be the new guy coming in. I just want to, I keep talking about, being that sponge, but I just wanted to be the guy that perfected any role that he was given. Whatever coach gives me, that I'm, more than set with. I've achieved my dream, but knowing that it's not the end goal. This is just the start to everything, and just keeping that mindset where I'm never, content with anything, and just trying to show that I'm ready to come in and work right away was what I try to get across.
Gradey, you mentioned Darko's knowledge, but Bobby said that one of the things that really stood out to them when watching you was your IQ. Have you always had like a natural feel for the game, or was it impressed upon you at an early age that hey, like you really got to understand it?
Yeah, I think it just kind of comes with playing and seeing live reads a lot of time with the IQ stuff, and just playing game-tight situations where you're kind of forced to be put in those kind of tight spots in a game, and fail a lot. I think that's one of the most important things when growing up, and still now, that's the most times you learn. And so I feel like coming in as a rookie, not being, afraid to fail, in practice, and maybe some points in games really can kind of, help you in the long run. And those kind of times at the end of the season are what's going to really count. So kind of getting those down first, and then really just setting up yourself for success.
You always like unafraid to
Okay,
fail,
we've been listening to the NBA Draft's 13th overall pick in the first round by
obviously they
Toronto
like
Raptors,
failing,
one of the newest
I'm growing
members,
up.
Gradey Dick, 6'8" guard, chosen by Toronto. The reporters trying to get to know him a little better. He says that he feels like he's won the jackpot coming to Toronto, beautiful city, and people being very genuine with him. Talking also about his mentality for the game, saying that if you just have fun with it, you'll also do better at the game. And big compliments for new head coach Darko Rajakovic, saying that he's put him through a personal training plan. So that's always interesting and good to see. But he's a rookie, he has a lot to learn, and he's going to soak it all up like a sponge.